On December 19, 2009, the Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington Railway Museum ran its Victorian Christmas trains. The trains traveled about 1.5 miles from Sheepscott Station to Alna Center, where Santa Claus was waiting to greet the children. Free rides were given to about 475 people who also had the option of taking a sleigh ride when they got off the train at Alna Center. Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington was one of 5 narrow-gauge railroads which served different regions in Maine. The railroad was originally called the Wiscasset and Quebec, but it never reached Quebec. In the early 1900s, the Wiscasset and Quebec reorganized into the Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington. The Sheepscott Station is a replica of the original station built in 1894. The ticket office and gift shop at the Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington Railway Museum is a replica of the Weeks Mills Freight House. The large shop building is about a 1/3 representation of the original shop building that was in Wiscasset. Inside the shop building, engine number 9 is being restored. It was built by the Portland Company for the Sandy River Railroad in 1891 and was acquired by the Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington in 1933. A new boiler for engine number 9 is being built by the Booth Bay Railway Village, which is making a great effort to retain as many of the original parts as possible. The Little Plymouth engine is a Detroit diesel built by General Motors in 1968 and bought by the museum in 1997. Passenger coach number 3 is the only surviving Wiscasset and Quebec coach. It was built in 1894 by the Jackson and Sharp Company in Wilmington, Delaware. In 1909, passenger car number 3 was sold to the Bridgeton and Saco River Railroad. It made its way to Edaville in the 1940s and stayed there until it was brought back to Maine in the 1990s by the Maine Narrow Gauge Museum. It is now back on the Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington under a long-term lease agreement. coach number 8 was built by the Edaville Railroad in 1985. After it burned in 1986, it was rebuilt in 1988 and purchased by the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington in 2005. While the steam engine was being prepared, the Plymouth engine was used for the first run of the day. The engine and coach went to Alna Center and left off passengers who were then able to take the sleigh ride and warm themselves up by the bonfire. saw him at the Auburn show. I don't know if you did. No, I didn't see him. He showed up later on in the day. I asked him if he had been up and running. He said, no, not really. He had mentioned a couple times of having a few people come up or something. The Plymouth engine was put into the shop to get it off from the runaround track, which would be used by the steam engine during the day. Volunteers run the railroad and have fellowship with each other during the day. The steam engine hitches to coach number 3, the Wiscasset in Quebec, so that it can be added to the coach number 8 and used for a large number of people who came to ride the Victorian Christmas trains. The enclosed water tank is typical of those used by the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington. Because the water would freeze in the cold Maine winters, the tanks were enclosed so they could be heated. Locomotive number 10 was originally a 2.5-foot gauge locomotive. It was built in 1904 by the Vulcan Iron Works of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania for use in the Louisiana sugar plantations. In the 1950s, it was purchased by the Edaville Railroad in Carver, Massachusetts, and re-gauged to 2 feet. Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington purchased locomotive number 10 in 1999.
Following Sam.
No more man blowing back at him.
Be on TV.
The Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington was the last of the two-footers started in Maine, opening in 1895 between Wiscasset and Albion. The plan was to get to Farmington, where it could connect with the vast system of the Sandy River and Rangeley Lakes Railroad. At its largest size, the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington had 58 miles of track and only reached as far as Winslow. It never crossed the Kennebec River into Waterville. It survived until the Depression of the 1930s.
Eric, you're not going to sleigh ride.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people going, well, that's nice. Let's get the hell out of here.
Let him catch your breath and then we'll take a little jaunt.
Yep.
Go run before.
Okay.